thanks for that point of view. That's also interesting, and that's true. Not all impact hours are reflecting the work that everyone's doing. Okay, so for legal today, I would love to discuss this step-by-step guide that Griff added, and to become a hatcher. Okay, there's this document that it's posted on the channel, on the legal channel up there, and so you can just open it up. If Griff, you want to share it, because my sharing capabilities are not the greatest. I am still having issues to share my screen. That'd be great. Before we jump into that document, if there's any questions regarding the graphic, the diagram that we were discussing last week, if anyone wants to have any question, although we are still tweaking a little bit, there's not everything defined yet. There's a couple of free parameters that maybe still be in the air, but basically the diagram shows just about everything that we're gonna have to decide before launching.
Can you tell me what you wanted shared again?
Yeah, steps? Here the step-by-step guide to become a hatcher.
Great.
All right.
I'll be right back. I see the other guys in simulations, but I'm really interested in both. I'll be right back, probably.
Perfect. Thank you, Tonga.
So yeah, any questions about that diagram? I'm looking for the diagram too.
It's in the agenda. If you open up the agenda, there's the diagram there. Here, let me share the agenda. The agenda.
That's
link.
really what I'm looking for. Yeah.
Yeah. Here, I'm going to be posting it here on Legal.
Aha. Oh, thank you, Santi.
All the links are there. So if you open that up, you will be able to access the rest.
Okay, now I can
the second page is last week, and the diagram is on there.
So I guess I have a question on the diagram. It's still loading on my screen, but and it's really for Sam. I think that we can settle on these things. Like where are the question marks? You know, that's what I want. Like, I think we can settle on the die split happening before. From that last call, there was strong opinions on like people getting 0, and that's okay.
I don't. The splitting on the hats is not about people. I mean, in the last call we said if we refund, the people is not getting anything. So this means that the 3 hats is fixed. Is fine as it is. But then we have a question mark in if we split the die post hatch or in the final DAO. And that affects how people is going to be able to redeem. If they can redeem everything, if they can redeem everything except the impact hours that they are giving to the people with impact hours, or if we have that fund for the people, the majority that wants to send it somewhere else.
I just love this diagram so much. Okay, well then can we just do a quick round, if that's okay, Santi? Like really quick, A, B, or C, right? A is when people contribute, their money is given to the funding pool before they can, and then if they choose their mind, they don't get that money back. B is people contribute to the hatch, and if they don't like the move to the final DAO, they get all of their money back. And C is I don't know or I don't care. So I will pass it to you, Santi. I'll try not to be too influential.
I would go to the one where you cannot redeem until we pass to the final DAO. So that would
So-
be B.
So that's not actually an option. So the one is you can redeem, let's say the hatch tribute's 30%, right? You can redeem 100% of your funds, or sorry, A is you can redeem 70% of your funds if you don't like the upgrade to the final DAO. B is you can redeem 100% of your funds if you don't like the upgrade to the final DAO. And C is I don't know.
I go for you can redeem only 70% of your funds. And I'll pass it to Sam.
I think that if you don't like the final result, you should get all your funds. But there is another variable, which is the cultural build that we have been discussing. Maybe you cannot get 100% of your funds because there is a percentage that goes to the cultural build. And I pass it to Livia.
I really like that idea that it's like 100% minus the cultural tribute. I think it enhances the trust also when people feel like they can redeem everything. And I pass to Zapp.
Yeah, I think the same way. Like people should be able to redeem like the most funds they put in, because they can. I mean, when they put the money, then maybe they get more involved in the project. But if there is like some restrictions, they might think twice before putting money. And yeah, once they are in, they're going to invest more, not in money, but on the knowledge and that. And I'll pass it to Dr. Law.
Lawrence, are you around? I'll take it, and we'll see if Lawrence can unmute his mic. Yeah, I guess I missed a variable there. So there's the hatch. There's the hatch percent. There's the cultural build. Sorry, son.
Marina didn't talk.
I didn't either though. I didn't either. So there's the hatch tribute percent, the cultural build percent. That's like how many the money that goes to impact our people, and then there's the those are the two cuts. So we get to decide: do we want people to be able to get the cultural build tribute and the hatch tribute? Do we want people to just be able to get the cultural build tribute? 100 or 100% back, and they don't even have to pay the cultural build tribute. I do like the compromise of this cultural build tribute to people, but personally, I like the forced donation. I do. I like this idea of, hey, do you care about token engineering public goods? If so, participate in a hatch, because no matter what, there's a percentage that's just going to be donated. Like, don't join us if you're not down for that donation. And you're also going to contribute to the cultural build tribute. But maybe that is too much. And I'm okay with the compromise. But yeah, I like that. I like the forced hatch tribute. I'll pass it to
Perfect.
Marina.
Let's
Thank
maybe
you.
just switch over to there for now, and then we can check back in here if we need to drop back.
Oh no, Chris. Hey Chris. Hey Coach B. Chris, you deafened instead of.
Hello. I've brought over our main man here, Coach B.
Hey guys, I'm not sure how this works. I can mute myself or something. I can only hang up, I think. Funny.
Oh, there's a microphone button, so you can mute.
Oh, there it is. If I unlocked it, okay.
It's at the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hey, Coach B.
And trying my camera, but I don't think it works.
But well, Marina, do you want to answer this question?
Yeah, thank you. So I would agree with Livia and the others to do the compromise.
Okay. So, Coach B and Chris, there's this question of like background. We're launching in 2 parts. There's a DAO that gets funded, and then that DAO upgrades to the bonding curve and conviction voting. Before that upgrade happens, there'll be a vote, and the people who vote yes on the upgrade, they will not be able to. They will have to do the upgrade. But the people who vote no or don't vote on it, they'll have the option to like not be upgraded. So they'll have participated in the hatch and put money in, and they'll be able to get some of that money back. There's 2 tributes that they may have to pay. And so the options are, should the people who decide not to do the upgrade, should they get 100% of their funds back? Should they pay the cultural build tribute, which will be somewhere between 20 and 5%, we'll say? Or should they pay the cultural build tribute and the hatch tribute? And we don't know what the hatch tribute will be. Let's just say 30%. The hatch tribute is the forced donation to token engineering public goods. Chris, what do you think?
I'm not quite sure if I understand the question you're asking.
That's fair.
Maybe I can ask another question. What is the motivation for someone not to upgrade?
Because they think it'll fail. Maybe they need the money. Maybe they earned impact hours and they want to cash out some of it. Maybe they think the parameters or the decisions that they're going into are a bad idea, and they wanted something else.
And in what time frame is that? Is that at the beginning, or is that they've already their money in long time ago, or?
Probably around a month ago.
And the money would have sort of raised some profits or created some profits, or?
Well, that's the question. It will not make any profits. It will be either a push, they get all their money back, they pay half the taxes, or they pay full taxes.
And in the regular stream, it would be that I pay taxes if I withdraw. So there's no, let's assume there's no upgrade and there's nothing I have to choose, but I want to withdraw. What is a regular mechanism to withdraw?
Well, you get these tokens. They're backed by a certain number of tokens, by a certain number of DAI, and then you pull it back. I feel bad. I don't want to waste this meeting all on this. This was an intro question. I feel like I'm taking over the call. So, Santi, do you want to time box us here?
Yeah, the only additional maybe thought that I had was we are running through this initial hatch and final hatch process that we were not expected to do at the very beginning. If I try to think from the eyes of an investor, he's putting money because he believes in the project, and if he joins in the hatching phase, because what we're talking about here is the hatching phase, he expects to have a price increase from the very first day. Okay. On the opposite way, if we don't succeed, he's going to lose some money, but he's still not going to lose all his money. He's going to lose part of his money, depending on, if he pays for the impact hours or the funding reserve split. So still, to me, it's a fair bet. You bet on something, you don't lose all your money. You're able to get most of your money back. And on the other side, if we succeed, your money gets raised, or your investment gets raised from the very first day or the very first month. Anyway, we can go to the step-by-step document. Can you just go up the agenda, and there is a link to that document over there. If you click it, you should be able to open it up. There we go. Okay, this is the step-by-step process that we all have to go through in order to join the DAO. Either if we are just contributing as impact hours, or if we are putting money in as investors, or both. Now, the first thing we will have to do is, of course, we will have to figure out that anyone who joins or wants to join the hatch phase is value driven, is not a speculator, and that's a job that will have to be on all of us, trying to identify who deserves to become a hatcher or not, especially those that we may not know that much. But right after that, they will have to apply initially to be part of the trusted seed. And that process is already open. It's a process that most of us have gone through, and it's on the Common Stack webpage. All you have to do is just fill in that type form, and all that information goes to members of the Common Stack for them to evaluate and figure out if you're someone who deserves to be part of the trusted seed. Now, after you are, let's say, admitted and you are not rejected, if you're rejected, that's it, you're gone. If you're admitted, you can move forward to become part of the Swiss association where the Common Stack is. Okay, so every one of us will have to be a member of the Swiss association, and that the representation of that membership will be the CSTK tokens. Okay, and correct me if I'm wrong, Griff, there. So the process of becoming a member will be embedded into a Dapp that we are building, and we can I don't know if you want to click on the Figma link or the working process link. I don't know which one is going to show better the process. Probably the Figma, because it's already has all the screenshots. So if you click there, you will have an idea of the walking process. Anyone will have to go through to become a member of the association. See when it loads.
Yeah, it's happening.
So this will be the screen that you will be presented to, and you will have to connect your wallet, because as I've told you, the way to become a member of the association technically will be that you will end up getting CSTK tokens. Now, before you move forward, you will have to sign the terms. Are those the final terms, Griff?
Coach B, do you want to say anything on this? It's your victory.
Oh, sorry. I was just trying to figure out what this call is about, because it seems this is a separate commons. It's not the Common Stack Association, right? You're using the Common Stack Association, but this is not the Common Stack itself.
Sorry, so this is the Token Engineering Commons call, and yeah, the Token Engineering Commons, as you know, is being launched by the Common Stack Association. Well, not being launched. The Common Stack Association members are the only ones who are allowed to actually participate in the Token Engineering Commons hatch. Is the thought process, and so we're going through. We have a couple other legal experts on this call, or experts, everyone's an expert, right? With quotes. And so this is a place where we get to just kind of go through our thought processes of the legal situation and make decisions and move forward. So one of the big things that you've done recently, Coach V, is finalize the terms and conditions and finalize the statutes. So we're showing off the application where people will have to agree to the terms and conditions and statutes.
Okay, I get it. Okay, so
by the way, that's a really cool idea with terms and conditions. If you really want to, if you want your members to go through them, you might be putting in a sentence or two and then award everybody that finds that hint hidden in the terms and conditions, just to make sure that everybody kind of reads them. It's an incentivization, but it's just like Intermate's idea.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a nice idea. I like that. I just want to make sure that we have to separate between the organization that has the hatch and gives out tokens and the Common Sec Association. So the tech should the TEC should sort of lead people to and that's how I understand this tool, to a tool that is owned by the Common Stack, and the TEC decides that they only accept members of their participants if they're members of the Common Stack, which is fine. But it should not be sort of a website by the TEC where people get membership into Common Stack. It should be a separate page that they lead into, and so on, so that people know that they're now becoming member of the Common Stack Association. This is important. We don't sort of trick them and they think, yeah, this is great. I'm part of the TEC now. I'm signing this, and at the end they don't realize they become a member of the Common Stack Association. And, I don't think this is the idea, but I just want to point it out. That's important.
Glad to have you here.
Okay.
And the other question I have for you is, do we need to have a separate checkbox for statutes, or can we have the terms and conditions and the statutes all in one big scroll?
As a document, I would have them separate.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's also different things, you know. Terms and conditions, I don't want to change them very often, but the statutes could change quite often with any General Assembly. The reason is, if you change the terms and conditions, you have to ask every member again to accept them. Statutes will only be accepted by or changed by the General Assembly anyways, so that's incorporated. So I would make it two different documents that you have to accept.
Okay, that was a good point. So we will have to have two documents, either go through two steps or have on the same step two documents and two drop downs where you will have to click and push the sign button. Are you opening it up again, the document?
Yeah, sorry, I tried to log in so I could. Now it's having to refresh, which took a while before. Sorry, guys, but the terms and conditions are the coolest part for this call. I need stuff. Okay, Santi. It's
okay. Just move forward on the Figma document. So we go to the following pages. Okay, now after you sign in, you will be faced to this page. And basically what this page says is that although you may have already CSTK tokens, until you become a member of the association, you cannot use those tokens. You won't be allowed to use those tokens to purchase TEC tokens. Is that correct, Griff? Okay. So because as I understand, all of us that have impact hours and that have signed through the Type forum and are already members of the trusted seed, we already have CSTK tokens. But unless we sign the association document, which will be linked in this application, we won't be able to use those CSDK tokens.
Yes, and yes, exactly. And there's another smart contract in the back that everyone who's accepted is added to the registry contract. And this is just a database of members and the max percentage of the CStack token total supply that they're allowed. So there's like an address and a number that represents the max percentage of the total supply of CStack tokens allowed. We do not want anybody to be the whale. Like right now I have 25% of CStack tokens. And I'm going to have to burn them because I'm only allowed 10%. That's like the max anyone can. And some people who are trusted less will even, like, if someone applied and we can't find anything on them, we give them a very low trust score so they can only have even a very small percentage of the CStack.
Hey, Griff, Craig here. Is it true, though, that just becoming a member of the Trusted Seed does not get you CStack tokens? You either have to make a donation or contribute work?
Yes. So being accepted to the Trusted Seed does not get you any CStack tokens. However, being a member of the association, you will have to donate funds or contribute funds and pay a membership fee, which will guarantee that you get CStack tokens. So anyone who's a member of the Swiss Association will have CStack tokens. But the first step is you have to apply, get accepted, and then pay your membership fee.
Okay, cool. That's great. Thank you.
Yeah, and it's very
And
confusing.
can you explain?
Yeah, go ahead.
Right, and can you explain the opposite, the other scenario? Someone who's been working on the cultural and they've gained impact hours. How would be the process for that individual?
If you have impact hours, and then you probably have CStack tokens as well, and I guarantee you have CStack tokens as well because we dish CStack tokens to everyone who has impact hours. Then you have you might have CStack tokens already. You're gonna have to pay. You're gonna have to come through. You will have to have applied for the Trusted Seed to get those CStack tokens. If you don't apply for the Trusted Seed, then we have it just in a spreadsheet. You earn this many CStack tokens, and when you do apply, we'll send them to you. Now we're implementing this process. What's going to happen is if people do not pay their membership fee, we are going to burn their CStack tokens. The amount of CStack tokens that they have will still be in the spreadsheet. It'll still be there. If they come back and apply to the Trusted Seed and pay their membership dues, we will send them those CStack tokens. So they don't really lose the CStack token. But what they do lose is the ability to enter the TEC hatch. And that's why we have to burn their on-chain CStack tokens. We have a whole list of who has CStack tokens, and we don't have their address to give it to them. That's okay. You know, now we'll have a longer list of people whose address we have, but they haven't paid their membership dues, so we can't give them CStack tokens on-chain.
So before you do any process, all you have is impact hours on a spreadsheet if you've contributed to doing some work. Once you join the Trusted Seed, those impact hours become CSDK tokens. But until you become a member of the association through the process that we're watching here, you cannot buy TEC
I want to be clear. There are two streams. There's CStack tokens and impact hours. Impact hours are all on a spreadsheet, and there will never be a token for impact hours. It'll end up being just an array of addresses and an amount. And then when the TEC has its hatch, those people will get a certain amount of TEC tokens. And then there are CStack tokens. And CStack tokens, in many ways, have nothing to do with impact hours. The only thing is that people who are dish praise get both CStack tokens and impact hours. And there's two different praise quantifications. So there's a quantification for the TEC and the common stack praise quantification. So I can see where it's very confusing. But in the end, anyone who was just praised almost certainly got both C-stack tokens and impact hours. If you have C-stack tokens, you can buy into the hatch. You can, deposit funds into the hatch. And if you have impact hours, you get free TEC tokens minted for you.
So just
And
to summarize
thing,
here,
if people with impact hours will have to be members of the Common Stack Association.
That was the point.
The most important, because
that was the point.
We really want to protect. We want to protect those people.
Right. You may have CSTK tokens not becoming a member because that's the way it is right now, but you have to become a member before being able to get those impact hours converted into TEC tokens. Otherwise, you will get nothing.
Yes.
Is that correct? Okay.
Yes.
The only difference.
That's our strategy. The full stop. Unless you're a member of the Common Stack Association, you will not be able to receive TEC tokens from the hatch.
Okay. All right. So that's very important. Everyone's got to understand that no matter if they want to invest or not, or they just want to join the free TEC tokens that they are going to be getting from their impact hours, they have to become a member of the association through this process. Okay, can we move forward?
Ooh.
Now this is where you should be able to see your CSTK tokens finally.
Okay, so we will everyone will start with a membership score of 0, and it will say that you have a pending score of 5,000. So if you have 5,000 C-stack tokens, it's down here, but you have a membership score of 0.
So what that,
no one's a member of the association yet.
So what that does exactly mean to someone?
That means that if you want to keep your C-stack tokens, you need to pay the membership fee.
Okay. Okay. And once you pay, they will be reflected into that screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
right.
so here they have to choose to make a contribution, and then they can make the contribution. If they try to contribute more than their max trust level of C-stack tokens, they'll get a warning. That's like, hey, you can send extra money, but you won't get more C-stack tokens for it. You should just reach out to us. Give us your LinkedIn and your Twitter. Let us check you out. Maybe have a quick conversation. Hear what your intentions are. Make sure you're not here just to make a lot of money, and you actually care about the long-term values of our project. And then we'll raise, and you can get more C-stack.
Okay, so actually you will pay, you will become a member, and finally we'll get the thank you, and you will finally get your C-stack tokens.
Party time.
Any questions here?
So pending was 5,000, but then received was 100.
Come on, give us a break.
No, I'm just asking whether I actually missed something or. Okay.
I'll make the comment.
We need to do a good job communication. A good job communicating all these process. It's not really easy to understand for someone that joins, at the very last minute.
I think this was clear. The instructions were They're basing everything on people becoming the members of associations. So the association is like the main institution here that everybody needs to become a member of.
Mhm.
Okay, so then the hatch is almost like a project inside of that association.
Sorry, I couldn't understand. Did you hear, Santi?
The TEC, where the hatch phase is part of, it's a project of the association, right?
No, TEC is relative. The TEC is not a sub project. They're two independent things. It's like if Pepsi says, "Hey, I'm only hiring people who are Americans."
Okay. All right. It's just a requirement, but it doesn't have anything to do.
Right, Coach B? I mean, it's just like, oh, the TEC only works with common stack tokens, but that's our choice.
Exactly.
So there's no legal structure for TEC at all.
I mean, there is. It's whatever the governments impose on it.
Oh yeah, I know. But initially, we're not gonna move forward on any structure at all.
This is what Oregon has been doing, and we're kind of following their suit on this.
So now that that's a question for Coach V. Could we have the association be responsible for whatever we're doing just through this process?
Well, the point is, if you give out tokens, and it's a very cumbersome process to get it approved. So you could do that, but then it's really every project would have to go through the association. The association would have to go to FINMA. It's a regulator here in Switzerland. It has to get approval for the kind of token you would issue. And probably Americans wouldn't be allowed stuff like that. So you would have all these compliance restrictions, and we try to avoid that by separating it and still mitigating risk of participants by having them as a common stack association member. And we would cover their legal fees if they have any, if there's any legal threat. We would cover part of the legal fees up to 10,000 Swiss francs. That's sort of the coverage we can give. It's almost like an insurance. You would go to the Common Stack Association, and you pay one DAI for an insurance of 10,000 Swiss francs. So.
Hey, a quick thing, Coach B. The minimum is one DAI, but let's scrub that from our vocabulary, because the default on the app will be 500, and this is like the only way the Common Stack can raise money and pay everyone's salaries. So we don't have to say we should never. I just don't want to avoid anchoring anyone to the one DAI idea, and we just keep it ambiguous and say membership fee, and pray that people want to support our salaries.
I think the one DAI is in the terms and conditions though.
Yeah, it's there.
So that's the trick. If people really read it, they only have to pay one DAI. They don't read it, they pay 500.
Well, or they make it less, or they make it more. But like, I'd like to anchor them around 500, because really, we're kind of screwed if we don't raise any money.
Yeah, it's just we can make it 500. I mean, it's a decision we can do.
No, because I do want the Impact Hours people. I think it's fair that the Impact Hours people, if they don't have the funds to contribute, they should be able to join for. It's just about anchoring.
So many ways you can do that. I mean, there's like you can separate members. You can say that we have pegged members, and we have regular members, and we have voting members, we have non-voting members. So there's many ways you can differentiate if you want to. Not saying we have to, but I'm just saying, it's possible.
I think it's great to have the one die in the terms. And hey, it's an Easter egg. Oh, look, there's the Easter egg. If you read the terms and conditions, you find out you only have to pay one die. Wow, lucky you. Thank you for reading our terms.
Okay.
Santi, you're muted.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. This is the process I wanted to share today. I'd love to hear everyone's feedback. If everyone's gonna say something besides Anya, who already said she felt was quite clear. So should we do a round? Marina, any points here on the process?
No, I think it was clear. I think we discussed this also in the last call, or at least a few calls ago. And as you said, I think it's very important how we communicate that, and that, like when you come to the webpage or when you need to do that, that it's as easy as possible. But I'm sure that you have people that are responsible for that and good at doing that.
Lawrence, are you here? Could you just let us know your thoughts on the process?
Yeah, I've made some notes in the document.
I just want to say, Lawrence, dude, we can hear you so well. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm reading through the notes that you posted here. One of them is, where does the criteria for being a community steward fit, and how many? Can you answer that, Griff?
Yeah, it doesn't. There's nothing special about. It's an internal title, but there's nothing like they don't get a bonus. If anything, community stewards, it's like they're sacrificing. They become praise quantifiers, and they get less praise. They do more work and get less recognition. They're heroes, but they don't get anything special. Did that answer your question, Lawrence?
Yeah, I just think that if stewards get more responsibility, then usually they either get more powers or maybe a little bit more little bit more reward.
I think that they end up with more social power, and that's pretty much that's the reward, and it ends up being. I mean, all the stewards get a lot of praise for sure, so they end up getting usually more rewards. But honestly, I'm more disappointed about you, Lawrence, because you don't have a Telegram account, so we never dish you praise, and you do so much. But yeah. Oh, that's cool. That's great.
Digital signatures. If you're dealing with money, you usually want something written or electronically signed at some point, because just saying someone clicking a box and saying accept usually works for small matters, but not when you're talking larger amounts.
Yeah, we actually have them sign with. Where is it? So a MetaMask pop-up will come up, and they actually have to graphically sign. They hold the private keys for that address, and I'll see this address already signed. So it goes straight to that page. This is the actual website, or it's the actual work in progress website. But I already signed with this address, so I have to change addresses.
It's on the
But
Figma. On the
basically,
Figma, the second image on the Figma file is there.
Sure, yeah. So you'd sign with your wallet. I assume that's more than enough. And then we can connect the owner of the wallet to someone's name. Were we passing it around, Santi?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah,
anyone else here that wants to? Sam, any questions here? Cannot hear you. You know, if you're mute or you're around.
Sorry. I actually don't know. I don't know about the terms and conditions. My comment will be not. I was kidding, and my comment will be not divide between the members if it's possible. I think that it's better to have just one kind of member.
Okay, that's a good point. Yeah, if we leave it as it is, it's only one kind of members. It's up to them to decide if they want to contribute with one die or go to the suggested amount of 500 or even go higher. That's up to them. Thank you. Libby, any comment here on the process?
My big question is how much animation and confetti? I think a lot, right? Who's with me? Major party, right? Dancing memes, maybe?
Mm-hmm. Okay, I don't know.
Well, I would just say, hey, we're done. You know, we're done with this thing. If it passes all your smell tests, the app is almost done. We're just really the next step is connecting it to having internal testing, and then we have to connect it to the Dapp. Then we have internal testing. Then we have external validation, and then on the first, there's going to be a board meeting with Coach B, Chris, and a few other board members to ratify the statutes, and then we should be able to start accepting members right after that, and the Dapp should be ready. So the timeline is good, and we're ready. We'll be ready to start accepting hatchers right after the new year.
So is that do you have an idea of the time frame when that can be done? Accepting members?
Yeah, the Dapp will be done before this. I mean, we've already accepted a lot of members, so it'll just be launching. It's really what's holding it up is it's just scoring an extra week of accepting hatchers isn't worth the bureaucracy of just waiting till the end of the calendar year and then starting fresh. So Coach B on the first, Friday the 1st, we're gonna ratify the statutes, and then we will and then we'll probably, I hope in that call we'll be the members of the board, but I don't know if the board has to do it or not, but we'll test the Dapp and make sure it works.
Exactly, that's good. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's great. I don't know, Chris, you have any comment here just to wrap up?
Yeah, the one question I had was, what did we decide? I thought we were we had some concerns about the access to future hatch phases.
Yeah.
Are we changing that wording?
Yeah, it's corrected in the Figma, but it's that's the
Okay, yeah.
that's the wording we're going for.
I just wanted to make sure that we had changed that and it wasn't still an artifact still in there.
We'll get there. We still need to get the Dapp to be able to donate to Giveth. We're stuck there. So then,
yeah.
I know it's not a small point, but for the devs it is. So we'll just have to.
Okay, if there's no more questions, I think we can call it for the hour. It's almost there. I hope it was a great hour, just showing you the process and getting your feedback. Hopefully, we should be able to start testing it quite soon. And once we test it with the people already on the cultural group, we should be able to find any bugs or smooth the process for the hatchers who are going to be outside of this group and hopefully start putting money in.
Yeah.
All right.
The next big steps for the legal group are getting the terms through, and so like there's the terms and conditions for the common stack. Yay, that's done. Thank you, Coach B. Thank you, Chris. Next step, terms and conditions when people participate in the hatch, which will need to be run through legal, soft gov, and gravity. All need to have their pieces in there. Then we need the terms and conditions for when people vote and dandelion voting to do the second launch and like any other changes of parameters. We'll need to run that through legal, soft gov, gravity. Then we need terms and conditions for those are the two things we need before the hatch. Then post hatch, we need while the hatch is going, we need to work on terms and conditions for the bonding curve, people who participate there, and then terms and conditions for the people who are making proposals. And then legal is done.
All right, great. We just had the first terms and conditions document finished.
So
all right. Okay, thank you all for joining. We'll keep moving forward, and hopefully next week we'll have another topic to discuss over.